Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amal Muhtar. Welcome to our special coverage. A newly formed government led by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli took office as the new ministers and the new deputy ministers took oath before President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Wednesday. And to know more about this, we are joined over the phone with Ambassador Raouf Saad, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Well, Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have witnessed today the swearing in of the new ministers to the government. The President emphasized that the government in its new formation must work towards achieving the several specific objectives across key areas, including national security, foreign policy, economic development, production, energy, food security, human capital investment, and social solidarity. Also, how did you follow the directives by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
Well, this is quite an important issue that would need a lot of time. But let me put it this way in bullets. One is, I think I would start with the directives. This is very crucial, and maybe for the first time, we see that this quality of directives, which mean the following. It means, one, that we are results driven. We have to deal with the ministers and the ministers with the results achieved during their performance. Two is the follow-up, and the follow-up here is not, it doesn't look as it says. It's not simple, because the follow-up here, in a way, the built-in factor is accountability. And this is, again, very important in order to ensure that, that the ministers and the ministries are performing in coordination with other ministers and achieving the plan which the directives stated about it, that the plan for each ministry. But I think it's well clear that when you talk about a plan for each ministry, you are talking about overall plan for the government altogether. So if you put the basis, the pillars for the performance of the government, this is something would require seriousness, efficiency, focus, and a targeted approach. Second, it's not a matter of persons. Of course, we see new names, that some of them that may be not known to everybody, but I think that the policies, and it's obvious that in addition to the areas which His Excellency the President mentioned, I think there is a clear focus on the economic aspect of this new phase. And I mean, to have for the first time a deputy prime minister, without a ministry in charge of economic affairs, and then you have a group of the economic issues. So that reflects very much, is not just an economic reform or directives. It reflects clearly that you are entering into a new phase. That after the reforms that have been taken, after you build what I call investment infrastructure, now it's time to reap the fruits of this effort and start investing in them in order to bring results that will be felt by the Egyptian citizens. I think a very, very important point here, that it's clearly that all the directives are designed to one major target, which is the people, which is the Egyptian citizens, all right? And that reflects that the government feel, the kind of suffering that the people have been confronting over the years of the reform, which is only normal. But it's convinced, the government is convinced that now it's time to reap the fruits of the reforms and the infrastructure. Otherwise, people will not feel the change. And they have been waiting for the change for so long. So I believe this is one of the best examples or models of a government reform, if you want, or change, because it is designed in a way that very well calculated. And hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
yes, Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency, the assignments also included developing a plan by each ministry with a set of objectives, procedures, and also timeless funding and performance indicators. And this is going to be a subject to a continual monitoring and evaluation. How did you read this?
Well, I've just said, that this is one of the most important aspects of the directives. Because, if you have, as I said, if you have a plan for each ministry, that would reflect that there is a specific and quite calculated kind of follow-up and accountability. Yes. Within an overall plan for the government of all with its all ministries. So, as I was saying, the most important is the directives, because that would reflect the concept, the forthcoming approach, the feeling of that it's time now to meet appropriately the needs and requirements of the Egyptian citizens, and provide to them that all the government that have all the efforts that have been exerted over the past 11 or 12 years are bringing fruits, and now it's time that that for the people to see, but also to give a model to the people altogether that it's time to work, and to work even harder. Together with, and this is something together with a strong involvement of the private sector, together with the civil society that will be part of the formulation of the public opinion.
Yes, also the mandate or the directives assignments by the President places a heavy emphasis on the state ownership policy and the role of the private sector. The role of the private sector is one of the very important issues that the President have always emphasized on empowering the private sector. In several events for the President in his statements, he always stressed on the important role of the private sector.
Yes, that's true, but let's be realistic. The private sector will never be involved unless they are comfortable with the overall atmosphere.
And the coordination, you mean, between the private sector and the government or the ministries? No.
I mean the overall environment for investment,
for investment, yes.
For investment. But the point you made is important. We are talking about PPP, public-private partnership is important. But I think that you will reach a point, maybe at a division of labor, that you have three categories of investments. One is exclusively by the government, by the private sector. One is with the combination of the public and the private sector, and one is exclusively by the government or the public sector, which should be clear that these are the sectors where the private sector will not be encouraged to get involved in. So this is a kind of map, that I would expect that will be set on the ground, that altogether would not only would help to increase exports and attract investments, but it would also be a new change that would attract the foreign investors, which is very, very important, because you cannot ask the foreign investors to come and invest in the country while the Egyptian investors are still reluctant. So once you see an active role for the Egyptian private sector, that by definition will contribute to bring more foreign investments to the country, which has a lot of opportunities if well managed.
Yes, Your Excellency, Ambassador Saad, the President also emphasized on the importance of boosting creation and innovation and in the within the coordination and between the several ministries, I mean.
Well, listen, ma'am, without our R&D, research and development, there is no future. Because, you know, we are living in a world which you know, the IT, the technology, the artificial intelligence, all this, you know, is governing the whole world. So you need a research, you need R&D to be indispensable part of any decision to be taken in the country.
Yes.
And in this regard, I would like to seize the opportunity to remind the people that in the last visit by the President to Brussels, you know, to the European Union, it was declared that Egypt has been accepted as a member of what is called Horizon Europe. Unfortunately, the media in Egypt did not comment on this. The Horizon Europe is the largest research pool in the world, which combines the researchers, you know, of all the members of the EU.
Yes.
And being a part of being a member of the program would give you a chance to be part of designing the programs to bring the students to the European universities. So it is a treasure of research which is very much needed, and we should invest in it in order to make the research as indispensable part of our decisions as well as all our projects.
Yes, a cabinet reshuffle aiming for change, at the same time very wise choosing of the ministers from the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, also keeping some ministers still in their ministries without changing. How do you see this also this wise choosing by the President, and that some ministers were really very successful and abided by the program they promised to fulfill when they were sworn in at the first time?
Well, it's the question is, you know, hard to respond to in 1 second as you want. But, you know, altogether we are seeing a new model of decision making. That it's not only the President doesn't make decision on his own, because it's obvious that, you know, the decisions and the reform and the reshuffle has been in process for quite some time.
Yes.
Which means that, you know, it was not only focusing on choosing the new ministers but focusing much more on reforming or promoting or improving the programs and the basis of efficiency and quality production. And that's why the product or the result of all these considerations have brought, you know, the directives made by His Excellency the President, yes. For the new ministers who are coming, they can learn from the past period, you know, even from the shuffle itself, and without saying more about that, but yes, they can see that they can learn from the reshuffle the lesson, yes, of, you know, what role is the efficiency or how efficiency is a major criteria, yes, for assuming this position.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Ambassador Raouf Saad, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I want to be back with you.